Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah, guys, today I am back with another series which is going to be What If Naruto Was Trained Seriously by Jiraiya. Well, guys, I hope that you guys will enjoy this series. First of all, don't worry, guys, I'm going to continue What If Naruto was, was neglected by his family, and hopefully, I will be able to make the next part of it today. So, yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start this video. But before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to this channel or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start our video. As I wanted to do this series, for quite some time. So yeah, I hope that you guys will like the idea, and in this series there's going to be a small twist as well. So yeah, as this time Naruto was, after the Chunin exams, was still in the village, after, retrieving Bachan, or otherwise known as Tsunade Senju, the fifth Hokage. As Naruto was doing his stuff, and then suddenly, Shikamaru arrived. Naruto, you have been summoned in the Hokage office. As Naruto was pretty confused about it, as he said, alright Shika. As both of them went to the Hokage office, as Tsunade was looking towards a team, as Naruto was pretty confused, as he was not, able to see Sakura or Sasuke there. Other than that, all the rookie knights were there. As Tsunade looked towards Naruto for some time. Naruto, it seemed that Sasuke has left the village. As Naruto's eyes widened on that, as he said, "What? Are you kidding, Bachan? What are you even talking about?" As Tsunade raised an, hand towards Naruto and said, "And that is not only the case, Naruto. We also suspect that Sakura has also left with Sasuke." As Naruto's eyes widened at that, he could not even believe his ears. Both of his teammates, which was like a family which he never had left the village. But why? As he looked towards Tsunade. But Bachan, how do you even know that?" As then Tsunade said, "Well, after Orochimaru put the curse mark on Sasuke and I was informed of that, I told some ambush to keep an eye on Sasuke, and according to recent report, all the things of Sasuke Uchiha has not been found in his home, which means that he has left the village. And for Sakura, according to the reports I have, received, it seems that Sakura somehow is obsessed with Sasuke." As Naruto did not like to hear that whatsoever, but still, it was pretty true to, so many levels. As he looked towards, but as Shikamaru said, but it still does not explain, Hokage-sama. As she simply nodded. "Well, right now these are just suspicions because Sakura Haruno is not found in the village, and according to this, obsession which Sakura had with Sasuke, there are good chances that she has also left. So I'm going to send all of you to retrieve Sasuke Uchiha, and if Sakura Haruno is with him as well." As all of them simply nodded at that, as Naruto has determination in his eyes. He will not believe that Sasuke, his brother, has, abandoned the village, as well as Sakura-chan, the girl which he loves with all of his heart, has abandoned him, abandoned the village, their home, their team. No, he will not accept it. As along with all the team simply went, as then Jiraiya arrived. "Hey Gaki," as Naruto looked towards him. "But we say, did you heard that?" As he simply nodded. "Alright, I'm coming with you guys. Tsunade has already explained things to me. Let's go." As all of them simply dashes towards, the forest. But this time, since there was no Sakura to inform them, Sasuke as well as all, Sakura, who has also left the village with Sasuke, has gone off way too ahead of them. As after some time, they finally arrived at the Valley of the End. This time, all the team, as Naruto looked up to see on the head of, Madara, Uchiha, Sasuke, along with Sakura, and all the, Sound 4 were there. As Naruto's eyes widened, as well as, Jiraiya narrowed his eyes towards one figure which was trying to hide. But Jiraiya could sense it. As then Jiraiya said, "Hold it there, Gaki," as he looked towards Sasuke as well as Sakura, who were about to leave from there, as if talking with someone. As both of them looked down to see, as Sakura was still pretty uncertain about leaving the village. Flashback for Sakura. As Sakura was going, to her home, then she realized that Sasuke was there leaving the village, as she was in utter surprise. in utter shock when she saw that how her Sasuke-kun was leaving the village. She could not believe her eyes, and then after some debate, she told Sasuke that she wants to come with him. In the beginning, Sasuke was a bit reluctant, but then he finally thought that it could be good and she could be useful in the future. So he finally agreed with that after seeing her determination. So Sakura left the village along with Sasuke as Sakura was still pretty uncertain. Flashback ends. As Sakura was looking down as Naruto stepped in. Sasuke, Sakura, what are you guys even doing? And where are you even guys going? To Orochimaru, that damn traitor? As Sasuke looked down to Naruto. Naruto, you do not understand me. I need the power to kill him. I want to avenge my family. You will never understand. As Naruto looked up to see Sasuke, the only person who he thought as a brother, the person who Naruto thought could understand his pain. As he said, Sasuke, you don't have to do this. You can become strong in the village. As Sakura looked down to Naruto as she had, you can say, looked towards Naruto for some time, but then she, you can say, scoffed as if a loser like you, we can go strong with you. It is only because of you, Naruto Baka, that we are in this situation. As Naruto was in utter shock, what was even Sakura talking about? Even Jiraiya was ready to, you can say, attack both of them to take them down as quick as possible. While on the other hand, you can say Sound Ford was smirking as Sakura said, well, Naruto Baka, it is because of you Sasuke-kun is held back in that village because you always took so much time of Kakashi-sensei and he does not have time to train Naruto-kun, Sasuke-kun. Now it's about time that Sasuke-kun will get the power which he deserves. As Naruto, you can say, was in utter shock as Sakura started to say that how he was the one, because of him, all the, you can say, missions were going so much trouble, while, you can say, even Sasuke was looking towards Sakura as if she has lost her mind. As Sakura was trying to, you can say, has finally reverted back to her Fangal type. Already, you can say, destroying the last bridge which she had to sanity. After, you can say, leaving the village for her Sasuke-kun, and now she has started, you can say, blame Naruto for all of this. As Naruto gritted his teeth, as it was complete opposite. Sakura was utter useless in the all the missions, Zabuza to all the snow, even the suffering country, all the missions they have done. Sakura literally did nothing but scream of the name of Sasuke or Naruto. As he gritted his teeth on that, as Jiraiya was already, you can say, ready. As he said, alright, I have enough of this. As he rushed towards both of them, and then another person landed. As he said, not so soon, Jiraiya-sama. It seemed that Orochimaru-sama needs the Uchiha, so it's about time we take our leave. As Jiraiya's eyes widened when there was a small snake, as he said, damn it, as them, they simply reverse summoned back to the words of the snakes. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth, as while on the other hand Naruto was in pure anger as well as sadness, started to fill his heart. He could not believe it. He has done most for the missions as well as his team, as if it was a family. Sasuke abandoned the village. And on his face, he was telling him that how village has nothing to offer him, and on top of it, Sakura was blaming him for all of that. Even all the, you can say, Rookie Nines could easily see that Sakura was on the verge of insanity, and it soon become her obsession with Sasuke has taken a new turn. As Jiraiya gritted his teeth, the last Uchiha has went to Orochimaru. What he's going to say to Itachi? Yes, Jiraiya knew about, you can say, Itachi, the secret spy in the Katsuki. So yeah. As he simply shook his head, this is going to be troublesome. He has to do something about his old teammate, Orochimaru. As they simply saw it, this mission was a failure. As a matter of fact, they did not even reach to Sasuke as they simply reverse summoned back to Orochimaru as they were not happy about it, especially Naruto. As all of his beliefs, his family has finally broken as he gritted his teeth on that. As they, you can say, along with finally back to village. And now let us have a time skip as Naruto was standing in front of Jiraiya. As Jiraiya has already offered Naruto 3 years training trip as Naruto has accepted that along with the backpack. As Tsunade was looking towards both of them. As she stood up from the, you can say, chair as she walked towards Naruto. Naruto, I know that you are feeling pretty sad as well as feeling a bit low about Sasuke as well as Sakura. Don't worry about them, Naruto. You have to move on. We will try our best to get them back to this village. But if that does not happen, then you have to do what is right, Naruto? As Naruto looked up to see, even though all of this time his will was pretty shaken from this, but still the drive was still there to become Hokage and to save try to save at least his friends. Though this time without you can say no Sakura as well as blaming him for everything. This finally you can say put a blunt to his you can say beliefs. But still that was still there as he looked towards Tsunade with a smile. Don't worry, Bachan. I will do my best. I will save both of them from the darkness as well as from Orochimaru. As Tsunade smiled at that, don't worry, Naruto. If they are truly good at heart, then you will be able to convince them and they will not fall in darkness. As after saying that, she smiled at Naruto as Naruto was finally ready. Determination was present in his eyes to grow stronger, stronger than anyone. As this time, he's not going to, you can say, simply pass time. He will become the strongest there is. As he simply nodded at that. As finally, Jiraiya smiled. Alright, Gaki, let's go for our training trip. As they finally went off for 3 years training trip. As Jiraiya finally started to train Naruto normally as he trained you can say Naruto in the original canon. But he noticed something as Naruto was pretty distant as well as he does not smile that much. And now after some time Naruto was sitting in front of Jiraiya. As Jiraiya speak up, well Naruto, just tell me what is going on in your head. I know that both of your teammates has left the village at this Naruto. You can say expression changed a little which Jiraiya noticed. But still, he did not say anything as Jiraiya said, well Naruto, it happens. I know that. I know the betrayal. Orochimaru was once my friend. He was like a brother to me, my teammate. But still, he betrayed the village. He killed our sensei. And you have to understand, I know that you want to save them. But still, I will not stop you from that. You will try, just like I did, but still, always remember what is to happen if that does not. They are beyond convincing. Right Naruto, as Naruto simply looked up to see Jiraiya as he said, well, I understand Jiraiya sensei, but still, I do not understand why. Why they did that? Why they betrayed the village? Why they betrayed me? As Jiraiya sighed at that, as he looked towards Naruto, as he said, well Naruto, in this world, many people crave for power, they're greedy for power. It was the same case with Orochimaru. Sakura is just following Sasuke in the blind, you can say, obsession. While on the other hand, Sasuke is just like Orochimaru in many aspects. As Naruto screamed, Sasuke is nothing like Orochimaru, Pavisage. As Jiraiya simply shook his head. And in which aspect, Naruto? I know that about Orochimaru. I remember. I bled with him. We did together as well as we played together, we trained together, and we did many missions together. We were like brothers. And in which aspect Sasuke is not like Orochimaru? Naruto, just tell me. He crave power just like Orochimaru did. He became a rogue nin just like Orochimaru. And tell me Naruto, in which aspect you are saying that Sasuke is not like Orochimaru, as Naruto did not have a single answer to all of these questions of Jiraiya. He could not understand, he wanted to argue. There was a part of him telling him to tell Jiraiya to shut up. But no, another part of him was telling him that it was alright, as all of this was true. And Jiraiya looked directly into the eyes of Naruto. Trust me Naruto, I know how things actually are in this world. This world runs at the curse of cycle of hatred. Those who have power try to end the life of those who do not have, try to control them just like Orochimaru. And soon enough, if Sasuke were to fall in the same darkness, you have to harden, steal your heart and end his life. And that is the end result. Even though I'm not going to stop you to save Sasuke, even if you think you can, that is, but still, always remember Naruto, if you were to fall in the darkness, you have to end another Orochimaru from coming. Just think about it, if I was strong enough, if Sensei was strong enough to kill Orochimaru, how many lives would have been saved? All the kids on which Orochimaru at the moment is experimenting on, all the lives he has ruined. And on top of it, he invaded the leaf as well as killed third Hokage. Just think about it Naruto. If I killed Orochimaru all of those years ago, if Lord Third had enough power and will to kill Orochimaru, how many lives would have been saved Naruto? Just think about it. We had made this mistake in our generation. I do not want you to make the same mistake Naruto. In this training trip, I will train you and you will become strong enough to become a strong shinobi. But remember that Naruto, I do not want you to feel regret just like me and Sensei did at some point. After saying that, he simply went off. Naruto, you can say knock-headed ninja was simply saying that how Jiraiya was simply wrong, Sasuke was nothing like Orochimaru, but facts were there. Sasuke always craved power, he always wanted the power to kill his brother, and when he got the opportunity, he betrayed all of them. He left the village, and on top of it, he took Sakura with it. And now, think about Sakura. She was always, you can say, taking the side of Sasuke and saying that how he was a baka. On top of it, even in the last moments, she said that how it was all the fault of Naruto, that Sasuke was not strong enough. And Naruto was taking the time of Kakashi. Kakashi, his sensei, who did not even taught him a single thing other than, you can say, tree walking. Only the teamwork exercise he remembered always after the training exercises. Kakashi simply took Sasuke with him so that he can give him some pointers on his Sharingan, while Naruto deep down knew that Kakashi was giving Sasuke some extra training, something to do with his fallen teammate, but still Naruto did not mind it, thinking that how Sasuke and how Naruto he can do anything on his own, but still, he was so wrong. His so-called sensei trained Sasuke too much. On top of it, Sasuke, when he got the opportunity to get strong, he took that. He became a traitor to the village, as Naruto gritted his teeth, and now remembering about Sakura, all she had done to him, all the you can say every time she hit him, and now finally came the voice of Jiraiya saying that how he regretted the day when Orochimaru left. Naruto himself remembered all of those, you can say, people which Orochimaru has killed off. Third Hokage, his Gigi, Orochimaru has killed off, wondering if Sasuke will turn out like him in the future, as he simply shook his head, not knowing at the moment what to do. But still, one thing was for sure, he's going to become strong, and definitely going to become pretty strong. And now finally the training began, but Naruto was pretty annoyed with Jiraiya. Next day, as Jiraiya was saying that how he has to practice his, you can say, chakra control, and he went off to do his research, as Naruto did not like that whatsoever, as after you can say 1 week of doing chakra control exercises and doing nothing else, as Naruto was pretty angry at Jiraiya. As he looked towards Jiraiya, alright Jiraiya sensei, I have more than enough of this. And Jiraiya was pretty surprised, as Naruto has never called him Jiraiya sensei, always Edo Sennin. While on the other hand, he also started to notice that Naruto was becoming a bit, you can say, impatient too about his training, as he said, what are you talking about, Naruto? As Naruto said, don't play with me, Edo Sennin. You know that I want to become strong, not this stupid exercises. Just tell me, what is the schedule of my training? As Jiraiya said, alright kid, I'm going to explain. Here's 3 years of training. First year, we are going to do some work on your chakra control as well as your taijutsu. In the second year, we are going to perfect the Rasengan so that it can become even stronger. And on the third year, we are going to, you can say, work on the 9th chakra, and the end of the training you will become at least a low jonin to high chunin. See that? I have perfect plan for the training. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya as if he has lost his mind. Jiraiya said, what are you looking at, Naruto? As Naruto said, that is all? What are you even talking about, Jiraiya sensei? I told you that I want to become strong. I will do this stupid exercise of chakra control. I know that I have to work on chakra control. That stupid baka Kakashi always tell me that how my chakra control is bad and always run off to train Sasuke. At this, Jiraiya raised an eyebrow. He did not knew that piece of information, but Naruto simply shrugged it off and said, I'm not going to, you can say, become an elite chunin or anything like that. At the end of this training period, I want to become strong. I want to become at least strong. No, even stronger than Kakashi sensei at the end of this training month. And Sennin, I'm not going to follow this schedule of yours, and I'm definitely not going to rely on the power of the 9 tails. I have more than enough of it. As Jiraiya looked towards Naruto, that power is gifted to you. You have to learn. As Naruto said, yeah, I will learn it, but still, I'm not going to rely on that power all the time. I'm not going to become dependent on it. I will become strong enough on my own. As he looked towards Jiraiya with the, you can say, fist in the air. As Jiraiya smiled at that. Alright, I'm going to train you even further. So, what do you suggest, Naruto? How do I train you? As Naruto said, I want to learn everything you know, Edo Sennin, especially those sealing art. I have been wondering lately that if a seal can subdue the 9 tail, power like 9 tail, then it can do many other things. I want to become seal master just like you are, right? As Jiraiya laughed, so you were paying attention to me as well as when I was telling you how great I actually am. As Naruto simply scoffed at that. That is not all. Edo Sensei, I want to become strong. I want to learn more jutsus. Kakashi Sensei did not taught me a single jutsu, and I have heard that he knows thousands of jutsu. As Jiraiya once again raised an eyebrow. Alright Naruto, tell me what these Kakashi taught you. I'm pretty sure that he must have taught you many things, right? As wondering what Kakashi was even doing in the training. As Naruto simply shook his head. Well, he taught me tree walking as well as some teamwork exercises, nothing more than that. As Jiraiya blinked one time, as Naruto blinked, as Jiraiya blinked twice, as Naruto blinked once again, as Jiraiya shouted on the top of his lung, what? Jiraiya, Kakashi has taught you only tree walking and teamwork exercises? And what are you even talking about, Naruto? And he sent all of you into the Chunin exams? As Naruto said, pretty much. I know that he was pretty lazy and all, always saying that he has something to do, and took Sasuke with him, saying that he has to give some pointers on the Sharingan to Sasuke, how to activate it or how to master it. As Jiraiya taught it for some time, it seemed that Kakashi was giving favoritism to Sasuke. Even after all of that, Sasuke has left the village. And what about Sakura? As we look towards Naruto, as Naruto had a flash of anger in his eyes, as Jiraiya noticed that all the crush that Naruto had on Sakura died down when she blamed Naruto for all the bad things in her life. As Naruto said, she was always trying to follow Sasuke, and she never did a single thing in the mission. As a matter of fact, as Naruto started to explain from the Dazuna mission to the Spring Country mission, as Sakura always cried out about Sasuke-kun or Naruto Baka whenever she was in trouble, and like a stupid Baka, Naruto always helped her, and she always went after Sasuke-kun or something like that. And even against Gaara, she did not do nothing but scream and got captured. As Jiraiya blinked at that, as he simply shook his head, I don't even believe that Tsunade was wondering if she could take Sakura under an apprenticeship. As he simply shook his head, as for Kakashi, I will deal with him when we go back to the village, Naruto. As for the moment, alright. It seems that you do not know any jutsu other than the ones I taught you and the Shadow Clone jutsu, right? As Naruto simply nodded at that as he sighed. Damn you, Kakashi, you know thousands of jutsu and you did not even bother to teach Naruto and Sakura a single jutsu, and yet you teach Sasuke your prized technique, Chidori. It seems that we are going to have a long talk when we go back. As he simply nodded at that, as he sighed. Alright Naruto, if you want to become a seal master, you have to study a lot, and trust me, a lot. As well as your chakra control is pretty bad. Let's see. Though I was not going to tell you this, but still. As he simply nodded, alright Naruto, let's go to the next town. We have something important. I have a contact to make. After that, we are going to go to our mission. As Naruto simply nodded at that. As for the moment, go practice some chakra control. As Naruto simply nodded at that and went off, truly satisfied that his sensei has truly reconsidered all the training schedule. Hell, he's not going to be remaining at the level of a Chunin when he go back to the village. He will become at least the level of a elite Jonin with experience. Yeah, that is definitely he's going to discuss with Jiraiya. As they finally arrive to the next town, and just like usual, Jiraiya simply vanished as leaving Naruto at the you can say ramen stand. Though Naruto was not that much complaining. After all, he was eating ramen as he sighed at that. After you can say a long waiting, he simply made a shadow clone, several shadow clones to search for Jiraiya. And after some time, one of the clones finally found Jiraiya at the you can say hot spring, doing his research. As Naruto sighed at that, he was still eating some ramen, and he told his, you can say, clone, informed Jiraiya that it's about time that they move on to his training. And Jiraiya simply nodded at that, telling him that how he was waiting for his contact or something like that. As the clone simply poof away. As Naruto blinked twice while eating ramen, but he simply shrugged it off and started to eat. And after some time, Jiraiya finally arrived. As he said, "Hey Gaki, it seems that you have eaten to your full, huh? I was just gone for 2 hours and you are still eating." As Naruto sighed, "Well, Edo-sensei, I wanted to ask you something." As Jiraiya said, and what will that be, Gaki?" As Naruto said, "Well, when I sent my clone, he found you and talked to you, and I got his memories." As Jiraiya said, so you figured it out, huh, Gaki? It seems that it's pretty good." As Naruto said, what did I figure out, Jiraiya-sensei?" As Jiraiya nodded, and noticing that Naruto once again called him sensei, as he said, well, it's pretty simple, Naruto. Whenever you try to make shadow clones and do some work with them, you get their memories. For example, if you were to train by making several shadow clones, you can get their memory, and it is like you have been training several times. In short, you can get a month of training within, you can say, within a week by making only 10 shadow clones at a time. As Naruto looked towards Jiraiya and blinked, as Jiraiya also blinked, as Naruto blinked twice, as Jiraiya once again blinked, as Naruto screamed at the, you can say, top of his lungs, "Edo Sennin, and you're telling me now?" As Jiraiya said, "Damn, Gaki, just keep it low. It is almost like you're a Banshee." As Naruto was now glaring daggers at, you can say, Jiraiya, and Kakashi Sensei did not even bother to tell me that I could train by using shadow clones, huh? I bet that he knew about it, right? Jiraiya said, well, that is correct. I thought you knew that, but still, seeing that how you're a fool and an idiot, you must have not noticed it. And on top of it, you always make thousands of clones. It is beyond me that you never got their memory or anything like that, or a drawback. As Naruto was still glaring at Jiraiya, as he said, now, Kaki, it is, if you want, we can train this method, huh? As a matter of fact, it will be pretty good. You yourself can train in Taijutsu, while on the other hand, my clone can easily teach some of your clones some sealing art as well as some of the chakra control. But do not make over 30 clones, Naruto. It will always be headache. As Naruto was still not happy that no one ever told him, not even Third Hokage told him that how he can train pretty fast by using the shadow clones. He was still pretty angry, but still he finally nodded at that, and after some time they finally arrived at a large training ground. As Jiraiya smiled, "Alright, Gaki, it's about time that we start your training real serious." As Naruto smiled at Jiraiya, "Alright, what do I have to do?" Pavi says, "And do not tell me to make, you can say, chakra control exercises." As he said, well, Naruto, your chakra control is still pretty shitty, so we are still going to work on it. But as I told you before, this will not be you who's working on it, rather your shadow clones. Give me 30 clones, Naruto." As Naruto simply nodded at that, as then, simply, you can say, he said, he made 3 clones, and he said, "Alright, you, take him to do some sealing stuff and teach him some basics. Go 10 clones with him, as 5 clones with him," as they simply went off. "And you guys, go try to make Rasengan single-handedly," as he said, 15 clones at that, as he said, "Alright, the remaining one of you, go do tree walking as well as water walking exercises, and this time try to hold on to it." And they simply nodded at that, and they simply went off. As Naruto looked towards him, "So we are going to do Taijutsu, right?" Jiraiya laughed. "Of course we are going to do that. Alright, let's begin, Naruto. It's about time I show you a thing or two." As Naruto smiled, "You're so grounded," Pavi says. As Jiraiya had evil glee in his eyes, "We are going to see that, Kaki." As after, you can say, day ended, as Naruto was limping, as Jiraiya had beaten the living hell out of Naruto after breaking, you can say, almost broke his ribs as well as several of his bones. It is thanks to Nine Tail he was still healing. As Naruto said, "Damn you, Pavisage, I'm going to cause a case of child abuse on you." As Jiraiya simply laughed at that. "Well, you did told me that do not hold back, didn't you?" As he said, "But still, you should hold back a little." Jiraiya laughed it out as he dispelled his clones, as well as Naruto also dispelled his clones at once. As Jiraiya said, "Wait, Kaki," but still, Naruto has already dispelled all the clones, as Naruto got all the, you can say, memory of that, as he got knocked out. After all, he was learning so much. On top of it, he was so exhausted. As he sighed, "Well, I'm pretty sure that Nine Tails can handle his healing." As he grabbed Naruto, as he also dispelled his clones, as he said, as he raised an eyebrow, "It seemed that this kid is natural at sealing. Well, to be expected from the Uzumakis. Well, I wonder why Sensei never taught him sailing." But he simply shrugged it off. And as a matter of fact, in a single day, Naruto simply devoured the sealing knowledge, just like he devoured all the ramen in the Ichiraku ramen stand. He has learned all the basics, and he even started to learn first level seal master training. As Jiraiya was really impressed by that, and the ideas which the clones were simply popping out of nowhere. As Jiraiya was even getting intrigued what future actually hold for this kid. As for the briefest of moment, he even thought of teaching Naruto his father technique of a flash. as he simply put that back of his mind wondering if he should tell Naruto, and then he thought that if he were to develop a little bit more then he will teach him, and now the training first year begins. In this time Naruto chakra control increases a lot. As a matter of fact his taijutsu also increases as Naruto told Jiraiya how Rock Lee or Bushibrao sensei used a lot of weights and how much of his weight actually was, as this gave Jiraiya even further idea. So he put a, you can say, resistant seal on Naruto. As Naruto knew about the seal, after all he was learning the seal, as Jiraiya was literally impressed. In a 1 year Naruto easily, you can say, became 3rd to 4th level seal master. Jiraiya himself was only 8th level seal master, and there are 10 levels of sealing, and Naruto was already on the 3rd level or even 4th level to some degree, as Jiraiya was seriously impressed. In this time, Naruto also learned how to make Rasengan single-handedly, and now he was trying to increase his power. Though Jiraiya was wondering if Naruto could use Cube's power as well, but still, he put that back of his mind at the moment. And then they started to train even further. As Jiraiya said, well Naruto, that was impressive. But it seems that it's about time for your body to become even stronger. I know that you are pushing yourself as much as you can, but still, we have to, you can say, go even further. And I'm going to start teaching you some jutsus as well. But before doing that, we have to find out your affinity for chakra, as not to simply knowledge at that. In this time, Jiraiya was also making Naruto's clone read some books so that he can get some knowledge of the world as well. So Naruto also learnt about chakra affinities as well. So Jiraiya took Naruto and said, alright, you know what this is, right? Else, Naruto simply nodded at that. Of course, Pavishek, I know what it is. It is chakra paper, used to find out what is my affinity. So let's see. As Jiraiya gave Naruto the paper, as Naruto put some chakra into it, and to Jiraiya's utter surprise, as a matter of fact, even further shock, as the paper simply split into several pieces. As a matter of fact, it torn apart into shreds. As Jiraiya's eyes widened, as Naruto said, it seems that I have a wind affinity. As Jiraiya said, not even. Not only that, Naruto, you have so strong wind affinity. In the beginning, it should have only cut into half, but no, it shredded into pieces, which means that your wind affinity is pretty high. As Naruto smiled at that, well, it seemed that I have to become a wind master. As Jiraiya simply nodded at that, knowing that Konoha does not have that much wind jutsus, but still, he knows some of them. And it seemed that they have to visit Suna and get some jutsus from there. As he simply nodded at that, after all, they are companions, so yeah, they will help them. As Jiraiya was literally surprised when he saw that how Naruto has wind affinity, even though he do not know that much wind, you can say, jutsus, but still he knows about pretty much, as well as several exercises how to develop his wind affinity. As Jiraiya smiled, well Gaki, guess what, I have perfect training spot, let's go. As Naruto knew that his sensei, though was a fool on many levels, but still was a strong shinobi, and it was good to, you can say, follow his advice, as both of them finally went to a new city. As Naruto was little surprised, it was like a heaven, or compared to Konoha, as this city was the capital of Fire Country, as it was the biggest city in the Fire Country itself. As Jiraiya looked towards Naruto as he said, surprised aren't you? As Naruto was literally looking around, damn sensei, this place is pretty damn. As Jiraiya said, well, that was nice kid, perhaps. It was better than, you can say, when I first arrived here. It is really something else. Well, don't worry. There is also situated the castle of the Fire Lord. As Naruto simply nodded at that. After learning several things from Jiraiya, Naruto knew that about, you can say, many influential people of the, you can say, Fire Country, as well as the whole world, the cages, as well as the Fire Lords, as well as, you can say, the Danios. As Jiraiya even started to teach Naruto about something about politics, but not quite there, though he was wondering if he started to, you can say, train Naruto on that aspect as well. As he simply nodded at that as he said, but we are not here for travel, Naruto, let's go, we have a training spot. As Naruto simply nodded at that. As he simply arrived, as he said, well Naruto, this is the waterfall, comes here. I want you to split this. As Naruto's eyes widened and said, what do you mean by that, sensei? As Jiraiya laughed, well don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to split it right now, but do remember, this is going to be your final target. as for now, let's go. We have some exercise how to develop your chakra affinity. As Naruto simply nodded at that, having some idea. As Naruto arrived in the last training ground, as Jiraiya said, "Alright, Naruto, give me 1,000 clones." As Naruto was pretty surprised, but still made it. After all, Jiraiya never allowed him to make more clones over 30, or at the very most, it was always 50, never 100, especially not 1,000, as Naruto make 1,000 clone. And Jiraiya said, "Alright, Kaki, here it is going to be." As Jiraiya explained the wind, you can say cutting exercise, as Naruto started to train with 1,000 clones, as well as the determination, as well as far greater knowledge than original canon, as he started to train pretty hardly. As Jiraiya was wondering how much time it will actually take with 1,000 clone, and just as he guessed, after 2 days the exercise was complete. As Jiraiya was really surprised and impressed, it took almost, you can say, 1 month for any shinobi to cut a leaf in half, but still it was impressive. And now Naruto arrived at the waterfall. As Jiraiya said, "Alright, as they started to explain the exercise, as Naruto simply nodded at that, as he made several clones and started to, you can say, do the waterfall cutting exercise. While on the other hand, Jiraiya was doing his research, you know that. Now, as Jiraiya, after late night, came to the place, as Jiraiya was surprised, as he thought that Gaki must have got knocked out at the time, but still, he was trying his best to cut the, you can say, waterfall, but still failing, but still not giving up. As Jiraiya smiled at his student, deep down he knew that Naruto will become a strong shinobi, and now it is on his shoulder. As a matter of fact, he even believes that Naruto is the destined child to save this world from going into the darkness itself. As he simply smiled at Naruto, and just as he noticed, Naruto used almost all of his chakra, as all of his clones simply got dispelled. As he simply got knocked out, as Jiraiya caught him and finally went off. And after, you can say, 2 weeks of hard training, finally, as Naruto was standing there in the middle and the waterfall was cut, as Jiraiya's eyes widened as he smiled at that. That was a great manipulation of the wind, which is considered to be hardest manipulation there is. As Naruto was panting hard with a huge smile on his face, finally he has done it. He has cut the waterfall in half. As a smirk at that, as Jiraiya said, "Alright, Gaki, it's about that you have done it. But you have to practice later on. So let's go. We have some other things." As Naruto said, "Not yet, Sensei." As Jiraiya was surprised, "What do you mean by that, Naruto?" As Naruto said, "I want to increase my wind manipulation. I have learned some. I have also, you can say, read something about wind manipulation, and there was some person in the old legends who was able to cut the waterfall, not even touching it, and I have to do it just like I did it before, by, you can say, pointing my hand towards the waterfall and making several shadow clones. Same with the leaf, but I want to increase my manipulation." As Jiraiya nodded at that, "Well, Naruto, there are many old legends as well as the books I have gave you. I'm pretty sure that someone was there, but are you sure about it, Naruto?" As Naruto simply nodded at that, "Yeah, Sensei, mark my words, I will be the strongest wind user ever to exist." As Jiraiya laughed at that, well, same old Kaki. As Naruto said, "What was that, arrow sending?" As Jiraiya laughed and said, "Well, kid, then go on, who's stopping you? Go ahead." As Naruto simply nodded at that, as he slammed his hand together and started to manipulate wind around him, trying to, you can say, as cut the waterfall in half, not even touching it, just by pushing the wind, just like he did before. As training once again began, as Jiraiya had a smirk on his face, wanted to see how his godson will increase his power and how much of a wind manipulation he can actually do. As after saying that, Jiraiya simply went off, wondering if Naruto was on the way to create his own wind jutsus. As he smiled at that, and finally, after 1 week, as Jiraiya's eyes widened, originally he thought that Naruto must have given up by now, but no, as he was looking towards the waterfall, which was cut in half, as Naruto was simply standing there and with his hand collapsed together, as he did not even touch the waterfall, and yet it was cut in half. As Jiraiya had a proud smile on his face, really impressed by his godson, and wanted to see how strong his godson will actually become in the future, with a smile on his face. As after that, Naruto simply got knocked out. As they finally started to travel, as Jiraiya said, "Well, Naruto, that was really great. manipulation of wind. You're definitely improving on that. As Naruto looked towards him. Well, Jan Sensei, I wanted to ask you, is that the greatest level of practice there is? I want to increase my wind manipulation even further, just like I told you before. I want to be strong as Jiraiya thought about it and said, well, it could even increase to the highest level if you're able to cut 9 waterfalls at the same time in the 2 towns ahead. As Jiraiya laughed after saying that, as he was thinking Naruto will laugh after that. As he looked down to say, Naruto was looking towards the direction in which Jiraiya pointed out. As Jiraiya said, Gaki, you do realize that I was joking, right? Even no one with any type of manipulation could cut off 9 waterfalls at the same time. Even with your level of manipulation, you can barely cut off a single waterfall. As Naruto said, well, I told you, I'm going to become the strongest wind manipulator there is, and trust me, I will make my own jutsus. As Jiraiya nodded at that, wondering if it was actually worth it. As he simply shook his head, wanted to see if Naruto can actually do it, because if there is anyone who can do it, then it is definitely going to be Naruto. And he smiled at that. Alright, Kaki, you asked for it, as both of them went towards the next town. As Naruto finally arrived, as he was surprised, in awe, as Jiraiya said, well, this is a specific place in the water, in the fire country, Kaki. There are 9 waterfalls in the same lake. So, are you ready? Trust me, it is definitely going to take a lot harder than cutting a single waterfall. As Naruto simply arrived down to the ground and said, well, don't worry, Sensei. These waterfalls may be bigger than and stronger than before, but let's see what I can actually do. As Jiraiya smiled at that. Alright, you may try. I have some research to do. After saying that, he simply went off, as Naruto simply shook his head. Damn research. As he thought in his mind. Alright, waterfall, here I come. Uzumaki Naruto is here to cut you off. As he slammed his hand together and trying to cut off all 9 waterfalls at the same time, trying to manipulate his wind to even greater levels. After all, he has read on the books that most dangerous of all the elements could be wind, because wind is everywhere. While on the other hand, fire, water, these require some sources, even the earth. When your own water, earth is hardly to be found, though underneath the sea, but still. Earth is less, but wind is everywhere, even in the water. You can cut off the supply of the wind to the air, and then fire jutsus will be nothing. You can cut off the connection of the wind to the water, and you can destroy all the shinobis that there are underneath hiding. As well as you can say you can do many things with the wind only, as well as wind is far stronger than lightning, as well as fire. And only problem is earth, but still. There are other jutsus which Naruto will run. After all, the Rasengan could easily destroy that. And he has both of the elements of Sasuke in mind. Though Sakura's element, though he do not know, but he has a sneaky suspicion that it will definitely be Earth. After all, her punches were nothing to scoff at. As he simply nodded at that and started to increase his training further. Just you wait, Sasuke, Sakura, even if I will try my best to save you, and if I do not, then I have to do what has to be done. As he slam his hand together. Oh, waterfall, here I come. But okay guys, here I will left this part. Hope you guys enjoy it. For the next part, you guys already know the like goal, which is going to be 250 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, please like, subscribe, and yeah, peace.